Okay, so number one discusses the impact of Bronfenbrenner's bioecological systems theory and how it applies to the students' learning in the classroom. So I definitely think the video about the students in LA lacking resources such as a school nurse and a school counselor could really impact their learning. For example, if a student's sick, feeling under the weather, they're not going to be fully attentive in class and able to perform at their best ability, and they're not able to run down to the school nurse and, get a Tylenol or something just to, ease their symptoms for the day to help them pay attention. I definitely think that can impact them negatively, as well as the lack of school counseling. I know in schools today, anxiety and depression is very popular, and they're unable to get the counseling services they need in order to feel better about themselves and perform at their best ability with the confidence to be the best student that they can. And if these issues are left untreated, that could result in more long-term issues for the students that will impact their learning as well. So I define their macro system is the students just viewing school as a negative thing. They see their teachers on strike, so they're not gonna, think, oh, I want to go to school today, because their teachers aren't going to school. So that's automatically gonna make them, not want to learn, not want to participate. They hear all the negative talk from teachers and peers and parents saying, oh, we don't get paid enough, or oh, this school doesn't have this, why are we sending our children here? Their overview of school is not going to be positive just due to those things. So I define their mesosystem. This could be actually a relationship between their parents and their school. I know when I was young, my mom was super involved. She would always come to parent-teacher conferences and help out on volunteer days. And if the parents don't even have conferences to go to, or they don't have after-school programs to, help out with or pick up their children from, or check in, say, how's my child doing? That's going to concern them. I know my mom would be concerned for sure and question, oh, should my student or should my child be in this school as a student? Because I could send them somewhere different that has these resources, maybe in a different location. Their microsystem could be immediate surroundings such as their home life. Maybe if they have a brother, sister, or a cousin, or someone older who attended the same school that had those resources, they might feel behind or left out, or left out of a conversation about an after-school program or sports that their friend's school provides but theirs doesn't, and they feel underdeveloped and underprivileged, and that could just result in a negative feeling towards the school overall. So I do also believe that Piaget and Vygotsky, they could probably view this as negative as well. They define in the textbook that children acquire thinking processes with age and thinking experiences in the form of challenge with puzzling critiques. So they're going to learn more and obtain more knowledge from being challenged and not, lacking in resources, I guess you could say. They get the most out of learning through challenging themselves by interacting with others, and the lack of communication between students and their teachers and their after-school programs that provide that extra, to make them want to learn and thrive more. If those are all gone, then I definitely think that'll affect them negatively. They're not going to be motivated. They know, oh, I'm in school for a short time. My teachers are on strike. They don't care. Then they're not going to want to be there and do the learning, because I certainly know that I wouldn't. So a few different types of language learning in the textbook. I know it talks about immersion, and that's the number one type that we see around us. That's hearing and speaking in the classroom, speaking a foreign language in the classroom to learn it. It also talks about dual immersion, which some languages are taught in the full fluent language that they know, such as English. And the language education program can also be taught in the foreign language, such as Spanish for most of us. There's also bilingual education. I'm sorry, I just said that. There's basic interpersonal communication skills and cognitive academic language proficiency incorporated in those. So interacting, talking to each other in the language, as well as being tested on the language. So if funding for these programs are cut, I know statistics say that if you're bilingual, you definitely are smarter, you have a higher IQ, you learn quicker. I know I wish I was bilingual. I work in the hospital, and a lot of patients speak Spanish, and I wish I could translate. It makes life a lot easier. I definitely think students will not be held to their best ability when not learning a new language. I definitely think learning one language and sticking to your fluent language is okay. You're able to learn and succeed and thrive in the classroom. But Also, it talks about how some students come in from a different country and they speak a foreign language. Well, they have to learn English. Say they come from Mexico, they speak Spanish. They have to learn English to even understand what's going on in the United States. And if they're unable to incorporate some of their Spanish language into learning an English language, I feel like that's not going to be very helpful. And direct communication, if that's taken away in these programs, then I definitely feel like the student will lack in resources, not be able to learn to their best ability, and also if they relocate to somewhere else that speaks a foreign language, they're not going to have any idea. So, all right, that's all.